Hola clases, señora Plusted. We are starting a new unit and a new chapter. This is capítulo 1A, ¿Qué haces en la escuela? Chapter 1A, what do you do in school? So this week is part 1, vocabulario. Next week, part 2, grammar. And then part 3, we'll be wrapping up review and the test. So let's begin. Objectives or learning targets. In this chapter in Spanish, you will be able to listen and read about classes and classroom rules, talk and write about classroom activities and schoolwork, and exchange information about what you do in class. So let's begin. If you have not gotten a notebook for my class yet, you need one. Grab lots of paper, pencils, pens, pause this video, and write down all the words and the notes that you need, and then we're going to go through and how to say everything. So you can pause the video now. All right, now let's begin. So, vocabulario uno. To talk about your school day. El almuerzo, la clase. La clase de, and then you have to say the subject, right? The class of art. La clase de arte. Español. Ciencias naturales. Ciencias sociales. Educación física. Inglés. Matemáticas, tecnología, el horario, en la blank hora. We're going to learn how to say in first period, second period, la tarea. To describe school activities, enseñar, estudiar, hablar. To talk about the order of things, ordinal numbers. So if you see there's little red stars here, and it goes with the rule down here. So two of them, primero and tercero, change to primer and tercer before a male single noun. So a male single object changes these to adjectives instead of counting numbers. So let's go through them. Primero, primera. Segundo, segunda. Tercero, tercera. Cuarto, cuarta. Quinto, quinta. Sexto, sexta. Séptimo, séptima. Octavo, octava. Noveno, novena. Décimo, décima. So if I want to say in second period, en la segunda hora, right? Because hora is feminine, you would use segunda. To talk about things you need for school. La calculadora. La carpeta de argollas. El diccionario. Necesito, I need. Necesitas, you need. To describe your classes, remember, if it's male or female, you have to change it to match the description. Aburrido, aburrida. Difícil. Divertido, divertida. Fácil. Favorito, favorita. Interesante. Más blank que. So I can say, la clase de arte es más fácil que la clase de español. Práctico, práctica. To talk about classroom items. La bandera, el cartel, la computadora, la mochila, la pantalla, la papelera, el ratón, el reloj, el sacapuntas, el teclado. To talk about classroom furniture, el escritorio, la mesa, la silla. To talk about parts of a classroom, la puerta, la ventana. Other useful words you'll start seeing in the text. A ver, let's see. Mucho. Para. Like, mi tarea es para la clase de español. My homework is for Spanish class. ¿Quién? Who? Yo tengo. I have. Tú tienes. You have. To indicate possession or belonging to or ownership, we use possessive words, right? De, right? Like, la mesa de Max, Max's table. Mi libro, my book. Tu libro, your book. To identify description or quality, like, ¿qué es esto? What is this? I can say, es un diccionario, or hay una mochila. There's a backpack. Again, you'll need to pause the video, write all these words down, take the notes, and then we're going to go over how to say them. Okay, vocabulario 2. To talk about what you actually do in class. Aprender de memoria, to memorize. Contestar. Dar un discurso. Discutir. Explicar. Hacer una pregunta. El informe. El laboratorio. La palabra. Pedir ayuda, to ask for help. Notice the E changes to I here once you conjugate it in the present tense. El proyecto. Sacar una buena nota. To talk about classroom rules. A tiempo. Entregar. Llegar tarde. Prestar atención. La regla. Respetar. Se prohíbe. Hay que. Right? Like hay que prestar atención. Prestar atención. One must pay attention. Se prohíbe llegar tarde. It is forbidden to arrive late. To name school objects. El armario. El asiento. El carnet de identidad. La cinta adhesiva. La grabadora. Los materiales. Las tijeras. Some other useful words you'll see in the readings. Conocer, to know or be familiar with a person, place, or thing. The ZC changes to ZC in the yo form. Yo conozco. Lo que, what, or what about. Sobre, on or about. Negative and affirmative words. Alguien, someone or anyone. Algún, alguna, algunos, algunas, some or any. Nadie, no one, nobody. Ningún, ninguno, ninguna. No, none, not at all, not any. And some more classes. El álgebra. La biología. La física. La geografía. La geometría. La historia. La literatura. La química. So let's go over some of the new words you just learned. El laboratorio. El proyecto de arte. Los materiales. La grabadora, la cinta adhesiva, las tijeras. See the A+ there? Sacar una buena nota, to get a good grade. El informe, report. Hacer una pregunta, to ask a question. Contestar, to respond. El asiento, the seat. Sobre, 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 on or about. Las palabras, words. Repetir, to repeat. El armario, locker. Now let's go on to the review of grammar you should have already learned from last year. The present tense of the verb tener, which means to have, this E changes to IE in the boot, right? Stem changing verbs. Nosotros and vosotros weren't cool. They got booted from the party, right? They're E and IE. E doesn't change to IE. And it's a yo-go verb. The yo form has go at the end for some reason. So let's go through them. Yo tengo, I have. Tú tienes, you have. Usted tiene, you formal, have. Él tiene, he has. Ella tiene, she has. Nosotros tenemos, we have. Vosotros tenéis, y'all have. Ustedes tienen, you all have. Ellos tienen, and ellas tienen, they have. So if I ask you, ¿tienes un bolígrafo? Do you have a pen? No, tengo un lápiz. No, I have a pencil. Remember, tener is a yo-go verb and a stem-changing boot verb. Right here's the boot. Tener que plus infinitives, right? Use tener que plus an infinitive to talk about what you have to do. So if I tell you, tengo que escribir mucho en la clase de español, I have to write a lot in my Spanish class. Tengo que, I have to, right? If it was tenemos que, we have to. And some other tener idioms. So here are some expressions we use with tener. Tener ganas de plus an infinitive, to feel like doing something. Like, tengo ganas de dormir. I feel like sleeping. Tener mucha hambre. Tener mucha sed. Tener blank años, like tener 15 años, to be 15 years old. Tener prisa. Tener frío. Tener calor. Tener sueño. Tener miedo. I hope you have been taking notes on all of this. If not, go back, pause, and rewind it. Here are some verbs that end in ER and IR with irregular yo forms, like hacer, to do or to make, and the yo form is yo hago. So down here, hago la tarea de español todos los días. I do the Spanish homework every day. Poner, to put, yo pongo. Yo pongo los libros en el escritorio. I put the books on the desk. Traer, to bring, yo traigo. Traigo una carpeta a la clase. I bring a folder to class. So, using the new words you have written in front of you, try to listen and read along while looking at your new vocabulary and see if you can understand what these people are saying. They'll be very similar to what you're going to see on your quizzes and tests. So please pay attention. We'll see if you were right.
Para sacar una buena nota,
esto es lo que hago. Escucho al profesor cuando explica la lección y pido ayuda cuando no entiendo algo. Aprendo de memoria las palabras. Luego, discuto la lección con mis amigos.
So he said, in order to get a good grade, this is what I do. I listen to the teacher when he explains a lesson, and I ask for help when I don't understand something. I learn from memory or I memorize the words. Later, I discuss the lesson with my friends. How did you do? Were you able to understand? So let's see if you can get the next one.
En la pared hay un cartel con las reglas de la clase. Sí. Hay que entregar la tarea a tiempo. Hay que estar en el asiento y prestar atención cuando la clase empieza. Hay que respetar a todas las personas de la clase.
All right, so let's see if you understood. On the wall, there is a poster with rules of the class. Yes. One must turn in the homework on time. One must stay or be in their seat and pay attention when the class begins. One must respect all of the people of the class. So now that we know about the yes rules, let's hear about the no ones.
No. Se prohíbe ir al armario durante las clases. Se prohíbe almorzar en la sala de clases.
No, it is prohibited to go to the locker during class. It is prohibited to have lunch in the classroom. How did you do? Were you able to understand everything with the new notes written in front of you? So we're going to hear another conversation about two girls talking. They are sending messages before Spanish class. So follow along with the words that you have written down and see if you can understand the conversation.
Julia y Anita envían mensajes antes de la clase de español.
¿Dónde estás? ¿No quieres almorzar conmigo hoy? Tengo que dar un discurso en la clase de español. Tengo miedo. Tienes que comer algo. Está bien. Entonces voy a comer plátano con yogur. Oye, ¿vas de vacaciones este año? Pues sí. Vamos a Puerto Rico. Genial. Algún día yo también quiero visitar Puerto Rico. Bueno, tengo que ir. No quiero llegar tarde. Ay, no me gusta dar discursos. A nadie le gusta dar discursos.
So remember, dar un discurso is to give a speech, and llegar tarde is to arrive late. So let's see if you understood what they said. ¿Dónde estás, right? Where are you? You don't want to eat lunch with me today? I have to give a speech in Spanish class. I am scared. You have to eat something. That's fine. Well then, I'm going to eat plantain with yogurt. Hey, are you going on vacation this year? Well, yes, we are going to Puerto Rico. That's great. Someday, I also would like to visit Puerto Rico. Well, I have to go. I don't want to arrive late. I don't like giving speeches. Oof. Nobody likes giving speeches. How did you do? Right? And can you understand what they are saying? And based on the words you just wrote, would you be able to answer questions about these conversations? So let's try the first one.
¿En qué clase tienes que dar un discurso?
Tengo que dar un discurso en la clase de literatura.
In what class do you have to give a speech? I have to give a speech in literature class, right? Tienes que, you have to. Tengo que, I have to. Let's look at the next one.
¿Qué hace Lisa en la clase de español?
Repite las palabras para aprender de memoria el vocabulario.
What does Lisa do in Spanish class? She repeats the words in order to learn from memory or memorize the vocabulary. Next conversation. Let's hear what they are doing in class or what the teachers are doing in class.
En la clase de inglés, la profesora da muchos discursos.
En la clase de inglés, la profesora nunca da discursos.
In English class, the teacher gives many speeches. In my English class, the teacher never gives speeches. And let's see what they have to say about their class in this one.
Sacó malas notas en la clase de inglés.
Tienes que pedir ayuda.
I get bad grades in English class. You have to ask for help, right? Tienes que, you have to. And this final conversation, let's see if they agree with the rules of their classes.
En la clase de educación física hay que llevar uniformes. Se prohíbe tomar refrescos. ¿Qué piensas?
En mi clase también hay que llevar uniformes y no debes tomar refrescos. Estoy de acuerdo, son buenas reglas.
He says, in my PE class, one has to wear uniforms. It is prohibited to drink soft drinks or sodas. What do you think? In my class, also some have to wear uniforms, and you shouldn't drink soft drinks. I agree. Estoy de acuerdo. Son buenas reglas. They are good rules. And a little bit of art and culture for you. All right. Arte y Cultura, Mexico. Diego Rivera painted paintings and also murals in important buildings of Mexico and the United States. During 4 years, Rivera painted murals in all of the interior of the building of the public education secretary in the city of Mexico. Alfabetización, this painting, shows the importance of free public education in Mexico. And Cultura, Cuba, culture in Cuba. So this is a statue of Jose Marti in the city of New York. So he was a poet and a Cuban patriot that was very famous. He is a symbol of the independence of Cuba from the Spaniards. The verses that you are going to read, that you have read, are only a small part of the poem Versos Sencillos, simple verses, in that the poet describes his poetry and life with simple words and sincere ones. Many people believe that this poem is one of the best of his literary work. The words of the song Guantanamera are from these verses. So, Versos Sencillos, simple verses by Jose Martí. Cultivo una rosa blanca en julio como en enero, para el amigo sincero que me da su mano franca, y para el cruel que me arranca el corazón con que vivo, cardo ni ortiga cultivo, cultivo una rosa blanca. So I cultivate a white rose in July as in January for the sincere friend that gives me their frank hand, and for the cruel person that pulls out my heart with which I live. Heart nor thorny thistle do I cultivate or grow. I cultivate a white rose. So very simple, very beautiful. And this is your practice. Go to clever.com, Pearson Realize app, online textbook, and complete the following activities, all the ones listed below. They'll be posted on Canvas as well for you to follow the directions. Thank you.